Hey guys, welcome back to Nacho Mama's Kitchen. So today I'm going to be making my own version of a really great and delicious guacamole. So why don't we go ahead and get started. This recipe is super easy, super quick, and super delicious. Did I say super enough times? Super. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get started. I want to cut my onion. I want to go ahead and put my onion in the bowl with the lime while I prepare the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to use just a small piece of onion, not too much onion. Some people don't like onion. You can also grate it in your guacamole. That is a great tip if you are not a huge fan of onion. But I will say this, the guacamole needs the onion in there. I feel like it gives it a very great spicy bite to the guac, as opposed to keeping it out of the recipe. So you want to go ahead and give this a really fine chop. You want the pieces to be tiny because you want them to be evenly distributed throughout the guacamole, and you do not want large chunks of onion. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my lime. So after you cut your lime, you want to go ahead and squeeze the juice of the lime into your bowl with the onion. And this is going to kind of marinate the onion a little bit and give it a great flavor. And you're gonna go ahead and let that sit for a little bit. The next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and cut up your pepper. I'm using a serrano pepper. Put that aside. And you want to finely dice the serrano. Careful not to chop your finger off. And now you want to go ahead and transfer the pepper into your bowl. Be very careful not to touch your face or your eyes. The next thing you want to do is put in a clove of garlic. Not a lot of people use garlic in their guacamole recipe, and I think that that is a mistake. I think that that's what sets one guacamole apart from the other. It is the garlic that you use. So you want to go ahead, I usually put it in, I always put it in my garlic press because I don't want big chunks of garlic going throughout my guacamole. So I want to go ahead and press my garlic into my bowl. And you want to go ahead now and mix the serrano and the garlic and the onion in your bowl. Okay? The next thing you want to do is you're going to add your cilantro. So I have some fresh cilantro here that I'm going to go ahead and chop. And then you're going to go ahead now and chop your cilantro. And you want to finely chop the cilantro. Not a lot of people are fans of cilantro. You have to use cilantro in the guac. Great. Now you want to go ahead and dump your cilantro in your bowl. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you're going to put your avocados in. So a lot of people are always wondering, how do you know if an avocado is ripe? You do not want an avocado to be squishy, or you do not want it to be hard. You want it to have a nice texture on the outside and free of bruising, and that it's still kind of firm but soft at the same time. And so you want to make sure that you're feeling your avocados. So for me, from these four, these two are the best ones to go with. Go ahead and cut it like this, twist, and there you have your avocado. You want to go ahead and take the pit out. How do you take the pit out? There's various ways. People squeeze it out. I like to use my knife, being very, very careful. Give it a little whack and a little twist and pop it out. And that's just the way I do it. And then you want to go ahead and scoop the avocado out of its shell into my bowl. And I do the same for the other I like to go ahead and mash my avocado with all of the ingredients that are already in there. Oops. And give it a good mash. And last but not least, you want to go ahead and season your avocado. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, so just a little pinch of pepper in there. And then I'm going to add some salt. Avocados are very bland, so you want to go ahead and add as much salt or as little salt as you want, but you'll have to keep in mind that you added the lime in there, so it's going to need a lot of salt, so it has a lot of flavor. So mixing this up a little more, now what I like to do is add my final lime. So I added 1 lime with the onion when I first started the mixing all of the ingredients together. At the end, I like to add half of another lime to finish it off. Okay, so now we added half of another lime and giving it another mix. Now you want to taste for flavors. That is so good. It has a lot of that lime flavor. So guacamole needs to have that limey flavor. And it also helps keep the guacamole green and not brown. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me and being here in my kitchen. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you so much. Until next time.